There's all sorts of laws that cater to women. The Violence Against Women Act, Title IX, custody, child support, things like that.
I just feel like that's not stuff that cater to women. That's stuff that women need because
I need food, I need water, I need stuff, and I still gotta provide for myself, and it's not catered to me at all. I gotta get a job to get it.
My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
Do you know anything about politics?
I do not. Since about maybe 4 years ago, I kind of dropped it. It's just been going haywire. It's confusing.
Why are so many women concerned with their right to vote if they know nothing about politics?
They shouldn't be concerned about it if they know nothing about politics.
Part of us wanting to be treated equal. So if a man is able to vote, they're like, I want to vote too. It's not really something we really want to do. We just want to have access to doing it, really.
I respect that answer.
Why don't more attractive women engage in conversations about philosophy and politics as opposed to fashion and pop culture?
Because they're worried about their looks.
Why?
Everyone's wanting to get famous. Everybody wants attention. Everybody wants money. It's all about looks nowadays.
Man, I think that's most of Americans nowadays. I don't even think it's just females.
Why don't more attractive women engage in conversations about philosophy and politics as opposed to fashion and pop culture?
Vanity. We've turned into such a vain society.
Fashion and pop culture.
Vain and shameless. Very, very fucking shameless. Like, that's the problem. In my opinion, that's the biggest problem with people nowadays. That they're fucking shameless. They don't feel no shame, which is crazy. Because in the age of technology and videos and your fucking, you know, what you said from when you was 5 years old to when you're 95 or when you're dead could still be brought up to you word for word. And, you know, like, it's so crazy how easily you are to be exposed to something embarrassing or something you should be ashamed of, and yet they show no shame at all. They're fucking just straight shameless.
Culture is more appealing to public eye. As soon as it comes to like getting down and dirty, when it comes to politics or anything like that, it becomes hard, and sometimes we can get emotional.
Have you ever personally been denied the right to vote or own land?
I have not, but I know that it's possible.
I'm a felon. I got arrested for two DUIs in Oklahoma, and I went to prison twice.
Would you give up your right to vote if it requires you to be drafted into war?
I'm not going to vote because I don't believe in our government.
Yeah.
What if
That's how a fucking OG veteran speaks, man. They fucking understand that shit's fucking... These motherfuckers, if there's anyone that's been betrayed by this country, it's retired veterans. They have been betrayed and spit on as civilians in our country.
Told you that voting rights originally required you to be drafted into war?
Brother, I served war. I'm a combat veteran. I'm a Marine.
Would you give up your right to vote if it required you to be drafted into war?
Would I give up my right to vote if it required me to get drafted?
I would for sure. But I mean, I'm not against war. I'm not against going and fighting. But I'm against fighting for this country. I'm against fighting for not this country, but what this country stands for right now. Until there's like some fucking actual reason for us to be fighting to, I don't know, better other people's lives or our lives, there ain't no fucking point, man. I ain't about to go fucking wait. I'm not about to go risk my life for y'all to get some more oil in this country. You know, I understand it does help us grow as a country. If that's the case, then just tell us. Don't fucking lie to us about it and tell us that we're going for weapons of mass destruction or what the fuck ever, or democracy.
Whatever the answer is to not get drafted, I don't want to get drafted.
I would fight.
I would fight.
As long as I could bring my vape.
A drink.
Oh no, I shouldn't say that. My mom.
My bed.
Would you give up your right to...
Oh, that shit is just so disrespectful to me, man. Like, I ain't never went to war. I don't really know any veterans, but I watch a lot of fucking podcasts of veterans that come back and talk about buddies and shit that they've lost and shit they went through, and holding back just grown ass men, early big old corn-fed men, falling because of some shit that they remember from war. And this bitch talking about, if I can bring my vape, oh my.
To vote if it requires you to be drafted into war?
100%.
Why?
I honestly think when it comes to the women fighting to be equal, we fought so hard that we actually now we're being treated equally, and we're being treated equal as
Love.
I don't know. I feel like war is really for men. I feel like men should be put on that front line, not women.
Agreed.
We're supposed to be there taking care of the kids, homemaking.
Until women can be drafted into war, why should they be allowed to vote for politicians that can send men to war?
I can't answer that.
If they're gonna vote,
I mean, I can. There's a lot of rights that women need to have a voice for when it comes to rights, suffrage, and shit like that. But it's just they got to the point to where they're treated above average. They're treated better than men. They're uplifted. They're fucking just catered to.
are they okay with being drafted into the military? Right? A lot of women said no. But how can you have a say on, politics or views that you wouldn't even go to war and fight for, right? And yet they're going to expect men to do it. So I think that there are roles that men and women take place, and men have to decide they're going to step up to that.
What would you think if there was another draft and men all protested, holding up signs saying, "My body, my choice"?
I wouldn't mind it because it's right. A man's body is a man's body, and they do have their own choice.
But at the same time, this is your house. This is your land.
God.
If somebody was to come to my property and trespass and want to take over, you're going to step up. You can't just sit there and scream, "My body, my choice."
I would think that it would be well within their rights, because at the end of the day, why should we fight in a war that's caused by somebody else, some old man getting rich and wealthy off of our suffering? It ain't our war. It's yours. You did it.
Why are women able to vote on abortion, but men can't vote on being drafted?
Whoa, that's a wild question. That is a wild question. That is crazy.
Why can't men vote on being drafted? Oh, I get what he's saying. Not an actual vote, but like women can have an abortion, men can't not choose to be drafted. Which, I mean, I'm not sure how true that is. I went for the longest time without signing up for the draft, and the only reason why I did was because I had to get my driver's license back, and they asked me, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I don't think that they would have came to my door and arrested me unless a draft happened, and I was like, no, I ain't going, and no, I ain't signing up. Then they would have arrested me. I don't think that they arrest people just for not signing up. I could see them I could see you getting fined for that shit easily, though.
Men don't want to get drafted into war. Again, but I also believe it takes men to protect the household. It takes men to be warriors.
Men are supposed to be warriors. They're supposed to be the king of the house that has no throne.
Men should have a choice on being drafted or not, just as much as women have a choice of having an abortion.
Why are we always talking about women not having the right to vote when men's issues aren't even on the ballot? Wouldn't that equate to men not having the right to vote, which applies to right now?
Technically, yeah, it would.
How are men even being represented?
Honestly, men are not really being represented. Women are the ones that are really being represented and supported by the community. Men don't really have that much support. And it's sad, but it's true.
Well, that just goes to show how much they want to put it in your face and let you know that you're nothing more than a tool, a piece of property that they're going to use until you're old and dry it out or die for some other unfortunate event. They just want your women.
See, again, this is where it goes back to passivity, right? When you have men that are passive and they're allowing just any issue to be brought up or whatever, we should be shutting down issues that don't matter.
When was the last time there was any policy
Men
made
are weak
to help
nowadays,
men?
though.
To be
Issues that don't.
That's why men are weak nowadays. They don't fucking want to stand up and fight for their fucking issues. They'd rather just go on about their lives and not have to fucking worry about bitches, plans. They're just tunnel vision. They're just focused on their own goals. Like, men don't really, I mean, at least whenever it comes to politics, they don't fucking stand up and fight for shit like that. Like, whenever, like, I mean, from my personal account as a man, I've heard plenty of men complain about how divorce ain't fair, child's rights ain't fair, single fathers don't got it fair. Whenever it comes to grape and accusations of SA, they care, like, the men care about all this shit, but nothing is ever done about it. So it's like, are they really fighting for it? Like, they might just it might piss them off and they'll say something about it, but they aren't standing up to put it on the ballot or to, I don't know. I don't really know how that shit works. Maybe that's why.
Don't matter.
When was the last time there was any policy made to help men?
To be honest, I honestly don't think there was one.
Are men struggling more from systemic problems or individual problems?
Individual.
Why are we telling men to go to the gym, get rich, and find individual solutions, as opposed to society doing more to help men on the systemic level?
Yeah, I do feel it is unfair. Men's emotions are taken for granted a lot.
You wouldn't have individual problems if it wasn't for the systemic problems. The systemic problems have impacted men's mental health and their social standings in their own families and households. So therefore, of course, it weigh heavy on them and cause individual problems, which they are not getting help for.
It's not.
That fool must be rolling on a bean or something. Like, why is he he's fucking just out of his mind, but he's still coherent, so I don't think he's drunk like that. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah, about the individual and systemic problems. I think you can not have systemic problems and still have individual problems. Like, system could be 100% working for you, but if you're not working with the system, then it's not going to work for you, and that's an individual problem. Unless I'm interpreting that wrong. I think you could have individual problems without systemic. Systemic is like every man has the same fucking problem. Individual would be like, you're just the one man with that problem.
Not about society not helping men, but men act real macho, real strong, like everything is good. But if they were to go out there and protest like they need help or they feel like their body, their choice, they would be able to have that voice behind them.
Yeah, but if you just said that men are supposed to be strong and if we're out protesting, that means that we're fucking weak. Like, we're out complaining, wanting someone else to fix our problems, right? Like, I mean, I guess you kind of are working towards something, but the way that I see it, you're just bitching and moaning. Like, toughen the fuck up.
If men didn't have the right to vote, how likely would women fight to give men that right?
Honestly, it's still a 50-50 shot. There's some women out there that do believe men have the right, but there are women out there that are just overpowered with themselves.
Most.
How likely would women fight to give men that right?
Not as much as the men have supported the women.
How can we label society as a patriarchy where men oppress women when men don't give a crap about their own issues?
It's a good question. I never really thought about it in that way.
Men are pretty simple creatures. Give them toys, help them relieve their desires, if you know what I mean. And yeah, put good food and drink in their belly, and then that's all it really takes for them. But women, they're more complicated creatures. You gotta care about their emotions, their feelings, where they want to go, what they want to do. It's a lot more to it.
I guess it's because most of the time, most of the things that men do, most of the decisions men make, you know what I mean, they have women in mind for some reason. Like when a man gets money, when a man gets fly, it's to impress a woman. When a man's on some tough shit, 9 times out of 10, it's to protect and impress a woman. So like, you know, it's normally a woman behind the decision that a man makes.
As men.
Yeah. But I think it is true vice versa. I don't think as much, but I think women do as well. I've always been like, it just don't make sense to me how women say they don't dress for themselves or how they dress for themselves, because it's like you're really dressing. I don't know, but at the same time, I do get it because they do dress for themselves whenever it comes to how they want to dress and what they want to wear to fit this look. Like, but they still have a idea of what they want to look like, and I think that is still them dressing for other people. I don't know. It's so hard for me to explain because it's so hard to even fucking argue it because it's like can't get into their mind. But there is some shit that women do, like nose piercings, belly button piercings, those stupid little piercings. I don't know how many times I've done told a bitch, I don't know why you get that. I have never looked at a bitch and been like, oh man, you see that nose piercing? Like, I mean, I guess there are some guys like that, but I don't know fucking hardly any, and almost every bitch got a nose piercing. So that's what I'm saying. It's like they don't really do it for guys, but at the same time, they still do it because it enhances their look in their opinion, which in turn higher their chances of finding a partner biologically. But I don't know. I don't think that they don't specifically only dress for themselves, but I do get what they mean when they say that.
If we really desire that woman, we should suck it up and go for it. And that's pretty much how all the people in office are probably feeling at the same time. But yeah, I think women need to start putting a little extra effort into their end of the deal, though.
If women always had the right to vote, how would our society be different today?
It would be too emotional.
we'd be less respected. Just like how a woman's running for president, the other countries see that if a woman gets elected for president, they're gonna look at us as weak.
It'd be different.
That's good. That's a good point. I didn't know what she. That's a good point. Like, that's what I thought with Kamala. It was like, I'm not personally against a woman being president, and I'm not against us having a woman president. Her was just fucking terrible. It's like, if that's really what you guys want to have as an example of what women leaders are, you just don't want another woman leader. you might as well just fucking call it a game, because y'all are not getting that round 2 for a while. But I'm not against it, but I do get that it would make us look weak in to other countries, because they still don't believe in women's rights. They don't believe women can be strong and capable. I mean, to be fair, they typically can.
For sure, it'd be more feminine. It'd be basically how it is today, just polluted, brainwashed.
It would be the same as it is today, because our society is totally, it's all communism anymore. We're not a free country no more.
Why do women think that the men in power won't cater to women when they already have?
Cater to this how?
There's all sorts of laws that cater to women. The Violence Against Women Act, Title IX, custody, child support, things like that.
I just feel like that's not stuff that cater to women. That's stuff that women need, because men don't stay. That's why.
I need food, I need water, I need stuff, and I still gotta provide for myself, and it's not catered to me at all. I gotta get a job to get it. Like, that's what it don't matter if you need protection for your kid. It don't matter if you need a house over your fucking head. You don't need to be given to you. Everybody else fucking earns that shit. So that just set me off. My fault.
People aren't building families out here just having babies and shit, because men don't stay. That's why people aren't building families out here just having babies and shit, because they don't know no better.
I mean, aren't there things that men need?
Of course.
So why isn't our society
That's because
addressing
men
that?
is not talking about it.
Oh my God.
Men don't talk about the shit that females talk about.
Is it the fact that men aren't speaking about this, or is it the fact that men aren't heard when they do speak up about it?
They're not speaking about it enough. And it could be because they aren't heard as well.
Are women more likely to make snap judgments or be indecisive?
Yes.
Why is it that no woman in history ever knows where we should go eat?
Because we are so undecisive.
When women are hungry, our brain does not know what we want to do.
Why do women want to vote and make political decisions if they can't even decide where they should go eat?
That's true. You're right.
I agree. I mean, I don't agree with that, because I have a hard time picking where the fuck I want to eat sometimes. But that might be feminine of me. But I at least know what the fuck I want whenever it comes to a president. I didn't vote at all ever until this last election. Voted for DJT, Donald Jr. Trump. Yes, sir, my dog. But I ain't vote anytime prior, because I didn't know fucking shit. I didn't even know what a fucking Republican or a Democrat was. I just thought the system was set the fuck up. That it don't really matter for the popular vote. It all goes down to electoral college. So why the fuck should I vote? That's just how I've always felt. But this last time, I was not risking that shit, man. If we had Kamala, dog, I genuinely felt like we was going to for sure go to World War III. Because, I mean, China was already creeping up to it. Russia was already creeping up to it. We got the cartel creeping up on us. We got Canada, which is turning into a communist state. I mean, we just got danger all around, and we got fucking Sleepy Joe's. I don't even know what the fuck to call her, but she did nothing. She did literally nothing. And we're gonna pick her up. She did nothing but agree to Biden's choices and stated that she stood beside him and that she wanted to change the thing. How is that not a nail in the coffin? But regardless, that's the only reason why I voted recently. And yeah, so it's like food shit. I guess that was a long tangent over choosing over food. But yeah, I'm indecisive whenever it comes to food. I can still choose a president. My opinion out of this whole conversation is nobody should be allowed to vote unless you prove you can vote. Unless you know what the fuck you're voting for, or you did something to prove that you give a fuck about this country, like whether it's serving your country in the army, or being a first responder, or doing something to be a service to your country. if you do that, then you should be allowed to vote, or if you pass the test or whatever. My stance on voting is Vivek Ramaswamy's stance on voting. You have to be able to fucking earn it. It's so annoying to me how many fucking dumb ass people can vote, and they have no idea what the fuck they're voting for. They're just voting with their emotions over something that they fucking heard. They didn't even look into. That's my opinion. Because I do think there are plenty of capable women that can vote. I just think most of them nowadays are dumb. Well, okay, not all the way dumb, but whenever it comes to politics, the majority of them bitches are fucking stupid. Stupid. Alright, y'all. Well, anyways, I hope y'all liked that video. If you did, please leave a like. If you guys got anything to say about the video, let me know down below. You know I'll read every single comment. And if you fuck with your boy, would you please give me a subscription? With that said, deuces.
Bitch, I be drinking, but don't tell my peers.